Passing through in our previous video about the concept of how best we can differentiate between macro conversions and micro conversions and understanding the same, the next topic now coming in line is to go ahead and indeed understand that how conversions get tracked and what are the available tools to do this particular activity. Indeed, before we can go ahead and do some analysis or even move ahead with our mechanism of conversion rate optimization, we first need to understand about a bit of a background details in regards with what is happening when we are saying that a sale is done or when we are saying that a particular lead is generated and so on and so forth. Thus, to help through with this particular mechanism, we have this various set of tools which are available online for doing conversion tracking and even getting you the best set of data. Now out here, let us do this particular concept understanding in two phases. First is to go ahead and just know the name of few of the tools, and second is to go ahead and understand the mechanism of the same. So let us first start with understanding the mechanism part or the technical part related to it. Whenever conversions are to be tracked on any particular website, there is a requirement of something known as a tracking code. Means indeed it is a code-based methodology through which the conversions are getting tracked. For example, if you want to go ahead and get some cash from a ATM system, you need to have your particular card and your particular PIN. These are few set of data which help the bank track your identity and provide you with your financial requirement. Similarly, in an online scenario, when we are looking forward at tracking conversions, there needs to be some form of identification of that particular activity which you want to track. That is, as I had given an example even in our previous session or previous tutorial, that if I'm looking forward at saying that someone has made a sale on my website, I'm ideally looking forward at understanding that a particular person has gone ahead and has led across or has been onto my order confirmation page. Now this whole set of tracking as to how many people reached your order confirmation page or how many people have done successful registration, that complete activity happens through a script or a code. Indeed, something known as a JavaScript code. This code is available from various tools, whichever tool you are using for doing conversion optimization, and this code is to be integrated on all pages of your website. In any case, if you miss across even one single page or you miss across any important page of your website, the data regarding to conversions and even all the assisting data in regards with that particular page would not be available to you. So it's very much important for you to integrate this code on all pages. It is a technical mechanism, thus you would need to coordinate and take help of your developer, but as a digital marketer, you should be having a know-how that what the developer is doing at the back end. So that's the basics in regards with how this activity gets tracked. Past that, few of the very famous tools or few of the popular tools which are used for tracking across user information on website and even tracking across conversions are listed through in this presentation in front of you. The first one out there is Google Analytics, one of the market leaders and I could say the most famous global tool around, which is used by millions of websites to track across their data, and it has a nice set of JavaScript code to track the same. In a moment or so, we'll be checking out that. Apart from that, there is few other tools like Adobe Omniture or Site Catalyst, or even there is IBM Core Matrix, Or apart from there are tools like Optimizely or even many others like WebStats, etc., which help you to do website data tracking and conversion tracking. Now, if your company is already existent online from a good time frame and has already implemented mechanism related to tracking data, then this particular different set of tools may not be of much use. But if you are the person who is going to get initiated with the activity of tracking data, then in that particular scenario, you need to go ahead and decide through about which one would be the best tool. So if you are on that pinpoint of deciding through which tool to go ahead with, then there are a couple of points which you should be interested to keep in mind so as you can ensure that a nice tool is integrated. First point would be to check through whether you are looking forward for a free tool or a paid tool. So out here, tool like Adobe Omniture or IBM Core Matrix are paid tools, and Google Analytics is a free tool indeed. And secondly, you will also need to check through whether the tool which you are selecting, does it match across with the requirement of tracking data from different channels. Like if you are doing a paid display campaign, can a tool track that data? If you are doing paid email marketing campaigns, can a tool like Google Analytics track that? So these 2 pointers or these few pointers are very much important when you are getting started with selection of tool. From my experience, I believe Google Analytics is really nice and comprehensive tool to do through that activity. I had a brief background of other tools and known through their work mechanism, but personally or as well as for various clientele that I have used across different tools for and even measured data for, I definitely would say that Google Analytics gives nice set of results. But definitely you have all options open, and even your company could be having any other tool from their end to do the same. So that's a brief background about how these tools are important and how tracking works. To give you some practical know-how in relation with the same, let me go ahead and show that if you are looking forward at starting this activity for your website, then specifically for Google Analytics, you can go ahead and use the tool or sign up across for using the tool on this particular domain, that is google.com/analytics. And out there, as you can see throughout here on the right hand side, there is the mechanism for tracking through or for going ahead and signing up out here. So you can go through there, and on the link of Google Analytics you can go forward and sign in through with the same. And past that, you can, as you can see, as I have clicked on sign in, I have landed across interface of this tool. Now at the moment, as I have already an pre-existing account, thus I am being able to log in directly out here. But in your scenario, if you are doing for the very first time, you'll be seeing a set of form which you need to fill or some data which you need to share across with on the interface, so as you can access or get started with tracking your website. And once you do that, as I said, all these methods are based on some tracking code. Here you can see there is one particular area under the admin tab in Google Analytics where you can go forward and check through or get through that tracking ID and tracking code data. So this is the particular location in Google Analytics where you can do that. This is just basically for information purpose before we get started or jump in the core topic of conversion tracking. It may be not important for many of you who are having background about analytics or maybe even are using some other analytics tool, but I just want to give you a briefer in regards with analytics, because even if you are using some other tool, you would be having some kind of similar arena or some kind of similar tab in those tools as well, wherein you can go forward and track the data or even get this kind of tracking code, because majorly all tools have a similar method for tracking user interaction. So this is a code which is to be pasted on all pages of your website, and there is some kind of identification, like I gave the example of your ATM card and ATM pin. So here is a unique identification of the code for your website, and I would definitely want that if you're using this, you can go ahead and practice this or check this out yourself by signing in with the help of your Google account, which you use for accessing Gmail or even YouTube and other stuff. So that's the basics in regards with giving you a very small briefer about how conversion tracking works through. You can definitely even check out other tools on their website, like on IBM Core Matrix, Web Omniture, and even look through that how their interface and stuff is, if you can get access to the same. But at the moment I have logged into analytics, and you should also, as I have an anecdote which I keep on saying in my training sessions, that digital marketing is more about doing rather than learning. So passing through this particular video, I definitely hope that you go ahead and at least sign in and have a sneak peek in the Google Analytics account. The next thing coming in line is to know that what is, first of all, conversion rate optimization, which is indeed our core topic. So when we are continuously talking about CRO or conversion rate optimization, what are we indeed interested in? So to understand this, here are a few basic pointers in regards with the same. It is actually a methodology, because here there are two terms basis which conversion rate optimization is built across. The first term is conversion rate, and the third term, or ideally the other term, is optimization. So we need to deal through with both of them and understand both of them separately. First, we'll need to understand what is conversion rate, and secondly, we'll need to understand what is optimization. So we'll be seeing through conversion rate in a bit detail with a particular example in one of our future slides or further set of slides. At the moment, I'll just brief you through that when I am talking about conversion rate, I'm talking about a mechanism which will measure the major activity done on my website by a small set or few set of people against all the people who are visiting my website or seeing through my web page. Now, if this sounds a bit technical to you, let me explain this with a very simple example. All of us are indeed very much aware about malls and supermarkets which are there in probably all major cities, metro cities, and even 2-tier and 3-tier cities across India and across the globe at various locations. Now, many of us are definitely going out there to do some particular shopping activity or do some particular buying activity, like going into a grocery supermarket for buying grocery or going into an electronics store for buying electronics in a mall. Against that, many of us are even forming a part of someone who are just going out there to chill across and roam around and do through some just kind of window shopping, that is just viewing the products, glaring across at them, just chit-chatting with our friends and colleagues, and then moving out of that location. So out here, why I'm taking this example is because when we are talking about conversion rate optimization, we are talking about this similar kind of scenario. I'm out here trying to calculate that from the total number of people which have come in the mall or in the supermarket, how many of them have actually turned into customers or people who have bought some kind of product, and how many of them have left through or haven't done any kind of purchase. So let's say, for example, on a particular day, in one day, let's say a supermarket like ABC supermarket is having 1000 people visiting their supermarket, and out of them ideally there are only, let's say, 700 people who are actually buying some product, and there are 300 people who are not buying any particular product. So these set of people who are indeed buying the product, they are my conversions, or they are a part of my conversion rate against the total set of 1000 people. So if I want to calculate the conversion rate in this example, I know that 700 people have bought something, that is a kind of conversion has happened, and 1000 is the total number of people who have visited this location. So that particular number, that is 700 divided by 1000, that will be giving me an output in the form of my conversion rate. And as it is an rate based figure, it would be again getting multiplied by 100, so as the data is available in percentage format. So that's a very basic understanding of what we mean by conversion rate. The same example can be continued online in the form of an e-commerce website or any other website which is collecting some kind of payment or doing online selling of service or products or goods. So the same method would be used even in that scenario. We'll be seeing it with one more example or couple of examples in the coming video. The second part of it, which is quite important for us, is about optimization, is about going ahead and understanding that how I can improve or how I can better through this particular performance of my campaign. That is, if I am seeing that out of 100 people visiting my website, maybe 35 of them are buying a product on my e-commerce site, how can I go ahead and ensure that the other set of people, the other set of 65 people who did land on my site but did not do any purchase, how I can convert them, or how I can optimize my website performance so as they would turn into a conversion. So this kind of mechanism where I am looking at improving my delivery, improving my revenue, improving the output I am getting, that particular system falls under the process of optimization. So that's a sneak peek detail about what is conversion rate optimization, and to get more clarity on it, here are a few of the points in the slider itself, that it is a structured and systematic approach through which you are trying to improve performance. You are trying to reach from 35 people buying to 40 people buying, from 40 people buying to maybe 55 buying it. So your cycle to go ahead and improve that number or improve that performance is something what CRO or conversion rate optimization is. It is based across on insights, like specifically you are going to have analytics data. We have seen great insights about it in the previous video and even something in this video. And apart from analytics, there are going to be other mechanisms as well, because analytic is a non-human based code-based matrix. To do that, to get some human touch to it, we are going to have even user feedback available to us. And past that, there is a few kind of loopings through a few kinds of surveys and even a lot of other methods through which we are gathering these insights. And apart from it, CRO or conversion rate optimization, it is defined from the main core objectives, your business objectives, your business output, which you are looking forward at. And it is being something which is being counted or calculated through basis the kind of traffic and the kind of people who are visiting across your website. That is, your end users, your real-time end users are going to share with you about how best you can go forward and do conversion rate optimization, or how best you can help your business as well as help them identify what they are looking forward to from your tool. So that's the mechanism, and that's some brief details about what conversion rate optimization is. There are other details about what it is not, and there is the example of basic conversion rate tracking and calculation as well, which we'll see through in detail indeed in our next set of video. Passing through what indeed is conversion optimization and understanding what is the benefit of it, let us even have a sneak peek at knowing through about what indeed is conversion optimization not related to, or what is the general set of myths people have in regards with conversion rate optimization. So many people are indeed thinking through of conversion rate optimization as being a random method of just analyzing data based on some set of guesses, based on just having a know through about, hey, what is being done around by other people, let us even try that method. Or if everyone is doing e-commerce, we'll also do e-commerce. If everyone is doing mobile apps, we'll also do mobile apps. This kind of random analysis is not something what conversion rate optimization is related across to, or neither is it driven by the people who are the highest paid person, or ideally someone who is your most niche set of consumer. So just by a single person opinion, or maybe by a multiple person opinion who is the topmost person in relation with your use of your website, it is not that kind of individual based mechanism. It is a mechanism which is based on mass level consumption and mass level analysis and feedback of data. And apart from that, whenever conversion rate optimization is being considered, it's also not considered for doing it through for each and every one or all the people who are going to come across and engage with your product or service. So quality plays through an important role as well when we are thinking of conversion rate optimization, because it's a very famous anecdote told through in sales industry that 20% of your customer are going to give you 80% of your business. So when you are looking at optimizing your rates, you need to know or even bifurcate through your core sale related people and users against the people and users who are not the highest set of individuals going to give you that kind of business, and in line with that, those kind of conversions. So there is a method in conversion rate which will help you indeed through analysis of data, help you bifurcate your kind of audience, your niche audience and your passive audience indeed, or in other words, audience which is converting a lot higher and other audience which may not be converting due to certain reasons and which could be having an attitude of not being your niche audience. So that's in part and parcel of every business, but conversion rate is not related to all masses and each and everyone together, but also takes in quality as a factor in it. With that being said, let me just get back to the example to again reconvey to you the message when we want to learn through about CRO. Indeed, what is the mechanism used for counting the conversion rate, or what is indeed a conversion and what is the formula based count of the same. So here is in plain example in which we are understanding the numbers that we want to improve through, that is the conversion rate which we want to improve. In this particular scenario, when we are talking about conversion rate, there are two factors coming in line. One is the total conversions, that is the number of people who did any particular activity, whatever you had defined as a conversion. That is maybe an ebook download, or maybe a sales of a particular product, or maybe a sign up into just your website, or maybe someone just filling your contact form with name, email, phone number, or anything else in that line. So this ratio of the total visitors or total users of your website and the ratio of the conversions, that is number of users who have completed an activity. So those total conversions divided by the total visitors or total users would give you an idea about your conversion rate. So here in this example, you can see that there have been 5,000 visitors and 50 conversions. Thus the conversion rate has been 1%. To simplify this example, let me just jot down the formula for you and help you understand this concept a bit better. When I'm talking about conversion rate, I'm talking about the ratio of total conversions would be divided through by the total number of users or website visitors. So in this scenario, the conversions have been 50 and the total visitors have been 5,000. So this particular scenario will land through into an value of 0.01, and as this conversion ratio is in percentage format, so 0.01 would be multiplied across with 100, so that will give through an output in the form of 1%. So that's the mechanism of how conversion rate is being calculated in scenario of this particular example, and similarly for other examples as well. So with that being said, I definitely hope that you have got through the concept about how conversion rate optimization works in a very basic format and the formula for the same. The next point then coming in line is to go ahead and get started with our main aim of CRO, or ideally to understand that what will be the strategy we need to use when we want to get started. So the first and foremost strategy is to decide that what you want to track. If the company has not yet initiated or started tracking conversions, they first need to jot down which all major important activities are there that we want to track as conversions, right from sales to registrations to ebook downloads to newsletter sign up. You need to decide basis your business, and this is something which would be varying from business to business as to what exactly am I looking forward at going forward and capturing as a conversion. So note all these details down, decide all these parameters. It could be minimum 1 parameter to up to 10, 50 or even more than that, different set of parameters. And accordingly, depending on the tool you are using, depending on the mechanism which you are implementing, like right from Google Analytics to maybe anything else like Omniture or Optimizely or even any other tool or software, then you go ahead and implement that methodology. There is some steps involved ideally so as conversions can be tracked. So you go ahead and implement that, like to acquaint you with the same. In case of us requiring to track across, let's say someone filling our contact form and then landing on something known as a thank you page. That is, thank you page is indeed a page which comes in past one fills in the form in the method of sharing across their name and mobile number, or name, email and mobile, and past they fill this data on a website, a page pops up or page loads which reads that thanks for sharing this data, we'll connect with you soon. So this is known as a thank you page. So if you're looking at maybe counting people landing on the thank you page, that is ideally valid number of leads generated for your website, past someone filling a form, then you need to implement some kind of tracking methodology to get that count separately. We have already known about a tracking code there for overall tracking of data. Simultaneously with that code, there are some steps in an individual interface where you need to go ahead and implement or at least enable certain tracking methodology to track across your set of data. And once that is done, you will be seeing some numerical reports and some nice cool set of information about whatever is getting tracked across by that tool. So just to give you an example, if you want to track through data in Google Analytics indeed, then there is something known as goal setting, which you need to implement across, and with the help of which you can go ahead and track data. And also, let me show you through as to where you can do that particular setting in your Google Analytics account. So you're in Google Analytics, under the admin section, there is something known as view, within which there is a particular tab named as goals. So under goals, you have the ability to set across any kind of data as a goal. As I said also previously, acquisition, goal, conversion, all are synonyms and all are used together. So you can do through your goal setting, or you need to do through your settings of tracking your conversions through this particular link. Like on this page, you can see there are so many different kind of goals or ideally conversions which have been set, right from ebook download to lead generated on a website, or loyal users who are spending more than 10 minutes, or any user who has made a payment or purchase, all of them, or people landing on the order confirmation page. So depending on the variety of information which is required to be tracked, these kind of different goals have been set in. So that's the method indeed, or that's ideally a briefer about where you can do it in analytics, if analytics is your tool. And similarly, there are these kind of sections even in other tool. So as a strategy, that's the first and foremost thing that you need to remember for sure, that go ahead and decide what you want to track, jot that down, and then go ahead and implement it on your tool. Implement that separate tracking mechanism on your tool, and past that you will be available with numeric data which you need to track through. So that's some basic info for this set of video. We'll be seeing more insights in our coming tutorial. Let's go ahead and learn some more concepts about CRO, or conversion rate optimization. Passing through the basic example and understanding how it's calculated and what CRO is in our previous set of session, let's move ahead and now go ahead and understand about why is it important. While this is definitely a basic point, but I would like to brief you through about the importance of it. Because in any business, if they are doing good, or if they have already set on track, like let's say your online website is existent since last 5 years and you are doing good set of revenues from that kind of e-commerce site year on year, or if your website is for lead generation and you are able to generate the required amount of leads, or your business is going on good properly without any issue. If this is the scenario, then maybe you would like to understand or have a thought process that why do I need to work on CRO, or indeed what is the importance of it. So to answer through that, here are a few basic examples that in each and every business there is always going to be some scope of improvement. even if you are the best performer out there or you are the market leader, then too, due to the sudden and continuous change in technology from time to time, there are going to be hitches and ups and downs happening across in your business. And secondly, even if they are not happening through, the plan for the future is not going to be stable in relation with how it is being done through today. Just to give you an example related to it, in previous years we used to have a telephone when we want to communicate with each other, a fixed wireline phone, and we need to manually go ahead and dial the numbers. Past the dialing trunk call, the system improved and we had a pulse based calling, wherein instead of 8 times the dial frame working, when we dial 8, the pulse would only buzz across 1 time. And these all was existent in old traditional wireline world. Past that, on improvement, there came in the next version of cordless phones, with the help of which you could go ahead and communicate with your peer person in a particular area within your home without the function of wires being attached. And as time improved over there, then came in mobile phones, and again people were having a change by which they could carry their communication devices wherever they wanted to. As time went on ahead and ahead, new and new features came in, and then there is the existent world of smartphones, where almost it is our complete partner, or I could say a kind of our business or life partner, where each and every activity we are controlling through mobile phones, smartphones which we are having. And even more and more improvement in terms of just a use of touch or even a use of our voices, enabling functionalities to happen. My point out here is that as time would go through, you will realize that for getting more or better business ROI or lowering your cost in your particular business, you will need to focus on conversion rate optimization. You will need to give a thought and work across in this direction as to what exactly is the requirement of your end user and till what level are you able to fulfill the same. Because in the same example which I gave just a moment ago, with the existence of newer technology, the older technology would be suffering in terms of its revenues, in terms of its market share, etc. Like wireline telephones company today would have gone through a very huge drop in relation with their income and revenues due to the existence of mobile phones, and so on and so forth would be the continuation even in the years going further. So to march across on this change and to ensure that we are in line with it, definitely we need CRO to be implemented through.